Abide with me, fast falls the eventide. The darkness deepens, Lord, with me abide. When other helpers fail and comforts flee, help of the helpless, oh, abide with me. Swift to its close, ebbs out life's little day. Earth's joys grow dim, its glories pass away. Change and decay in all around I see. O thou who changest not, abide with me. I need thy presence every passing hour. What but thy grace can foil the tempter's power? Who like thyself my guide and stay can be? Through cloud and sunshine, oh, abide with me. I fear no foe, with thee at hand to bless. Ills have no waste, and tears no bitterness. Where is death's sting? Where, brave, thy victory? I triumph still if thou abide with me. Hold thou thy cross before my closing eyes. Shine through the gloom and point me to the skies. And morning breaks and earth's vain shadows flee. In life, in death, O Lord, abide with me.
In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place. And in the sky the larks, still bravely singing, fly scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
A reading from the Book of Wisdom. The virtuous man, though he die before his time, will find rest. Length of days is not what makes age honourable, nor number of years the true measure of life. Understanding, this is man's grey hairs. Untarnished life, this is ripe old age. He has sought to please God, so God has loved him. As he was living among sinners, he has been taken up. He has been carried off so that evil may not warp his understanding or treachery seduce his soul. For the fascination of evil throws good things into the shade, and the whirlwind of desire corrupts a simple heart. Coming to perfection in so short a while, he achieved long life. His soul being pleasing to the Lord, he has taken him quickly from the wickedness around him. Yet people look on, uncomprehending. It does not enter their heads that grace and mercy await the chosen of the Lord, and protection his holy ones.
Sanctus, 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 Dominus, Sanctus,
I do not know your name, but I know you died. I do not know from where you came, but I know you died. Your uniform, branch of service, it matters not to me, whether volunteer or conscript, or how it came to be. That politician's failures or some power-mad ambition brought you too soon to your death in the name of any nation. It was for each other, through shot and shell, the madness you endured side by side, through wound and pain and comradeship assured. No family ties or bloodline link could match that bond of friend, who shared the horror and kept on going, at last until the end. We cannot know, we were not there. It's beyond our comprehension to know the toll that battle brings of resolute intention, to carry on day by day for all you loved and hoped for, to live in a happy life, away from bloody war. Far too many, no long life ahead, free of struggle and pain and the gun. And we must remember the price that was paid by each and every one. Regardless of views, opinions aside, no matter how each of us sees it, they were there and I cannot forget, even though I did not live it. I do not know your name, but I know you died. I do not know from where you came, but I know you died.
Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arm doth bind the restless wave, who bids the mighty ocean deep its own appointed limits keep. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee for those in peril on the sea. O Saviour, whose almighty and calm amid its rage did sleep. O hear us when we cry to thee for those in peril on the sea. O sacred Spirit, who didst brood upon the waters dark and rude, and bid their angry tumult cease, and give forward confusion peace. O hear us when we cry to thee for those in peril on the sea. O Trinity of love and power, O brethren, shield in danger's hour, from rock and tempest, fire and foe, protect them wheresoe'er they go, and ever let there rise to thee glad hymns of praise from land and sea.
Each year the blood-red poppy blooms in meadows sweet and green, bringing memories of long ago and days that might have been. So many young men marched away to fight for pride and land, all gone now, but ever remembered in fields where the poppies stand. Husbands, sweethearts, fathers, sons, all close to someone's heart. How sweet the embrace, how warm the love, how cruel then to part. Love shines ever brightly for the brave, for the ones they leave behind. Though miles divide, the memories cling, as with hidden chains they bind. Gone now forever, all dreams laid to rest. They lay in fields far away, still young and fair, still bold and strong, never wearied by the day, remembered always with love and tears, but never with darkest gloom. For every year they return again, when the sweet poppies bloom.
God so loved the world, God so loved the world, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoso believeth in him, should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world. God sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. God so loved the world, God so loved the world, that he gave
There had been years of passion, scorching, cold, and much despair, and anger heaving high, care whitely watching, sorrows manifold, among the young, among the weak and old, and the pensive spirit of pity whispered, why? Men had not paused to answer. Foes distraught pierced the thin peoples in a brute-like blindness. Philosophies that sages long had taught, and selflessness were an unknown thought, and hell and shell were yapped at loving kindness. The feeble folk at home had grown full used to dugouts, snipers, Huns, from the war adept, in the mornings heard and at eve times perused, to day dreamt men in millions when they mused, to nightmare men in millions when they slept. Waking to wish existence timeless null, serious they watched above where armies fell. He seemed to check his flapping when in the lull of night a boom came thenceWise, like the dull plunge of a stone dropped into some deep well. So, when old hopes that earth was bettering slowly were dead and damned, there sounded, "War is done." "One morrow," said the bereft, and meek and lowly. "Will men some day be given to grace? Yea, wholly, and in good sooth, as our dreams used to run." Breathless they paused. Out there men raised their glance to where had stood those poplars, lank and lopped, as they raised it through the 4 years' dance of death in the now familiar flats of France, and murmured, "Strange this, how? All firing stopped." Aye, all was hushed. The about to fire fired not. The aimed at moved away in translipped song. One checkless regiment slung a clinched shot and turned. The spirit of irony smote out. What? Spoil peradventures woving of rage and wrong? Thenceforth, no flying fires inflamed the grey, no hurtlings shook the dewdrop from the thorn, no moan perplexed the mute bird on the spray. Worn horses mused, "We are not whipped today." No weft-wing engines blurred the moon's thin horn. Calm fell. From heaven distilled a clemency. There was peace on earth and silence in the sky. Some could not, shake off misery. The sinister spirit sneered, it had to be. And again, the spirit of pity whispered, why?
The day thou gavest, Lord, is ended. The darkness falls at thy behest. To thee our morning hymns ascended. Thy praise shall sanctify our rest. We thank thee that thy church unsleeping, while earth rolls onward, lead to light. Through all the world thou watches keeping, and rest not now by day or night. As o'er each continent and island the dawn leads on another day.
I know, dear heart, that some day I shall find you, alone and in the evening shade of trees, twilight and hills, and quietness behind you, a scent I shall remember in the breeze. Always you come, a precious ghost, to haunt the days, the nights. In sudden waking dreams I find your face. You smile, you beckon, flaunt your lovely self before my eyes, it seems. To love is pain, but did you really care? Have you forgotten? Is it all in vain to breathe out sonnet to the midnight air? To long to touch your hands, your lips again? And yet I know that some day I shall find you, alone and in the evening shade of trees, twilight and hills, and quietness behind you, a scent I shall remember in the breeze.